Hello, good afternoon. I'm here to explain my summary of articles and synthesizing articles. This video I record for the professional reading class for final test. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Putri Rahayu and PM5D7 from class 2. And now let's get to the point. The first one is summary of the articles that I have read. The first article is perspective on dealing with reading difficulties. There are three perspectives on reading difficulties. The first one is cognitive perspective, and the second one is social and cultural perspective, and the third one is interactive perspective. And then, in terms of reading difficulties, social and cultural researchers suggest that literacy teachers should investigate if school culture and teaching practice might hinder students' abilities to develop as readers rather than focusing on skill development. The importance of phonological awareness, decoding, and reading comprehension are the key areas of cognitive agreement. Learning to read for most is a complex cognitive process that when orchestrated with ease is used to enter social and cultural world through literacies. Difficulties in literacy development can occur for a range of reasons. It's incumbent on teachers to consider the multiple aspects that may cause or exacerbate reading difficulties. The second article is reading and reading difficulties. Reading serves a variety of functions for both children and adults, including gaining knowledge about the world and subject of interest, connecting with others on paper and online, and providing an enjoyable leisure activity. The Academy published the result of their studies, and the report is the focus of the issue of Journal of Behavior Education. The volume will undoubtedly be mentioned frequently, discussed extensively, admired and criticized, and used to guide later research into reading and prevention of reading disorders. One purpose of devoting an issue of the journal to reaction is Snow et al. Is to encourage readers of the journal to pursue additional research in teaching reading, preventing reading difficulties, and in teaching children who experience reading difficulties. The third article is improving reading skill through effective reading. Research has shown that predicting, making connection, visualizing, inferring, questioning, and summarizing are effective strategies for improving reading comprehension. The result of the reading awareness scale and my personal experience show that there was a lack of knowledge in the area of reading strategies in the students at the beginning of the study. The student had a lack of knowledge and practice in reading strategies. However, after a comprehensive study, there was an improvement in their success. Future research on the revised reading strategies will probably include a larger random sample, different instruments such as using checklists in order to write down the improvement of each student in weekly based on participation, and the strategies they use more commonly can also be noted by the researcher. The next article is Research on Family Reading and International Perspective. Lack of early reading and language experience, lack of language and reading experience, intergenerational barriers where parents have not enjoy reading, poor basic skill, economic and financial barrier, cultural barriers, and the last is institutional barriers. To break down this obstacle, a model of effective family reading could include the following features in any country. The first one, parents and caregivers making time to read to their children on a regular basis. The second one is reading for enjoyment, being acknowledged as a vital element of the learning to read process at school and at home and supported by the library service. The third one, young people are at ease with the idea of being seen, reading at home, school, or the library. The fourth one, or the last, home reading is encouraged and promoted by school, library service, and the local community, not only by the family. The fifth article is factors affecting the reading habits school students. There are 4 types of reading. 1. Reading for pleasure, leisure, and relaxation. 2. Reading for information. 3. Reading for knowledge or studying. And the fourth is reading for any combination of the above. Interviews with language and literature teachers on how students are encouraged to read widely reveal that equipment and resources for teaching reading skills are lacking. The family background of students does not contribute to their reading habit as few homes have libraries. There is therefore a need for the home to assist the school in the education of children. And then, there are no functional libraries in most of the schools surveyed, nor are there trained librarians or teacher librarians. Of the few schools operating library periods, only senior secondary students are favored. And then, the equipment and researcher for teaching reading skills are lacking, coupled with a dearth of language teacher. The last article is how can students improve their reading comprehension skill. There are 3 modes of reading process as a second language. There are bottom-up model, the top-down model, and the interactive model. The article mentioned the effective strategies for reading. There are activating using background knowledge, generate and asking questions, making inference, predicting, and the other. The result of the study revealed that reading technique have a significant effect on the student's ability to read comprehension. Students are active creators of sense rather than passive receivers of knowledge. Effective readers use a variety of skills to decipher meaning from the document. Readers should participate in the reading process by using a variety of techniques to keep track of their context. And now the second one, I will explain the synthesizing of all of the article. Reading is the process of absorbing the meaning of letters, symbols, and other symbols, mostly through sight or touch. Knowing the meaning of words, being able to understand the meaning of a word in a context, being able to follow the organization of a passage and identify as antecedents and references, being able to draw inferences from a passage about its content, being able to identify the main talk of a passage, and being able to answer questions are all essential skills for effective reading comprehension. Reading is taught through a variety of ways. Reading comprehension strategies are essential. They differ depending on the difficulties, such as new concept, foreign terminology, long and complex sentences, and so on. Attempting to address all of these issues at the same time may be unrealistic. However, techniques should be tailored to the learner's ability, aptitude, and age. Reading aloud, group work, and more reading activities are some of the tactics used by teachers. In improving reading comprehension skill, the right strategy is needed so that someone can apply it easily. The article mentioned effective reading strategies, some of which activate and use background knowledge, generating and asking questions, making inference, predicting, summarizing, visualizing, and lastly is monitoring comprehension. These strategies can be used to improve students' ability to learn more and improve their skills, especially in reading skills. Coupled with reading more often, students will find it easier to understand words that were not previously understood. The first strategy is to make prediction. These techniques also allows for more student participants, which boosts interest and enhance comprehension of the content. It's also crucial to compare the actual text outcome with the prediction process, as this will aid the learner's comprehension of the subject. And then the second one technique is visualization, which requires the leader to visualize what they have read. Then there is the tying it all together. By making connection, learners can activating their past knowledge and connect the idea in the text to their own experiences. Reading becomes more meaningful when a reader connects to concepts in a work to their own views and ideals, as well as even in the outside world. The fourth is a conclusion. During the summarizing process, students will be able to differentiate the primary concept from the supporting ideas. Number 5 is questioning. This method allows students to return to the text throughout the reading process to find answer to the teacher question before, during, and after the reading. And then the last one is inferring. By inferring, students will be able to draw conclusion, establish assumption, recognize underlying patterns, apply knowledge to build meaning from the text, and generate meaning using graphics. Reading approaches have a considerable impact on pupils' capacity to read comprehension, according to the finding of this study. Instead than being passive receiver of knowledge, students are active makers of meaning. To discern meaning from documents, effective readers employ a number of talents. Readers should participate in the reading process by keeping track of their context through a number of strategies. Learners also have to face their difficulties in reading to improve their reading comprehension. I think that's all from me. Thank you. Goodbye.